Hui, aloha mai kākou, o wau keia o Manu Boyd. Aloha and welcome to our fun music-filled podcast, Mele Hoʻoheno, Songs for People, Places, and Pilina. And joining me today is a really good friend and a very musical friend as well. This is Kapalai Ula de Silva. Aloha, pehe oi.
Hi, aloha, maikai, pehe oi.
Maikai loa. You know, Kapalai she's like a walking encyclopedia of Hawaiian songs and music. She's an arranger, a composer, kumu hula. But tell me about your pilina to mele in general. What does mele do for you?
Mele is, what does mele not do for me? Mele is all kinds of things. I think it's my happy place. It grounds me in who we are. It reminds me of my past, my kupuna, my place here, and it also inspires me in what's happening now and what I want to happen in the future for our people and our families and our children.
Aye. We were talking earlier, and so our title is Mele Hoʻoheno, but specifically Mele Hoʻoheno. What does that mean to you?
Cherish songs, but for me it's like those that just get inside of your gut. They wrap around you like a warm hug.
You said something like a hug.
Like a warm hug,
I was trying to get to the hug part because I thought that was so cute.
I really, really love that idea of just mele enveloping you in their emotion and their beauty and their memories.
Yeah, so in this podcast, we actually have the opportunity to just kind of randomly pick songs. And we know a lot of songs between the two of us. But every song has a story. Some stories are better known. Some mele have a lot of backstory. So we're going to get a lot of backstory today. And just to introduce it, we're starting at the top of the alphabet here. Ainahau. Ainahau is a beautiful mele written by one of Hawaii's royal composers, Princess Miriam Likelike. So Princess Likelike writes this song for her home in Waikiki, and maybe to give the audience just in how you envision Ainahau to have appeared. How would you describe Ainahau even before we get into the song?
Oh, I mean, outside of the photographs that you can find and get an idea of that environment, I am just wrapped in like that old style Hawaiian home. It is a welcoming hale, but beyond that, it's the people of the hale and it's the Aina that hale resides, the context and the layers. So I'm seeing trees, I'm smelling flowers, I'm feeling breezes, and the warmth of the home and the people who reside there. Exactly,
and in the story of Ainahau, again, Princess Likelike writes this for her home in Waikiki. The area was formerly known as Auaukai, but it was after the birth of her daughter, Princess Ka'iulani, that whole story of Ainahau really kind of takes shape. But I agree. You look at the song books like this one here by Johnny Noble and the Charles E. King's collections, and intermingled with the music manuscripts are all these photos of gardens, including Ainahau as well. Also a kind of romantic moonlit nights and beautiful hula dancers. So it gives you a kind of a sense of Waikiki back in the 1870s, 1880s, and right into the 20th century as well. The song Ainahau, written for that home, reflects a new name that Princess Likelike gave to that land, Auaukai. So Ainahau, how would you describe that?
As a
name.
Language-wise.
Language-wise.
A cool land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's generally, so hau is like a beautiful, cool wind that comes up from Manoa Valley. But I've seen Kawena Pukui translate Ainahau also as hau tree land. So hau, it's a native hibiscus. Let me show you how. Anyway, it grows well along streams. And there's one of the three main streams in Waikiki back in the day. It's named Apua Kehau, and that really takes center stage in many stories and mele for Waikiki, coming down from Manoa and Palolo. The Apua Kehau stream comes out near where the Royal Hawaiian Hotel is, and it passes right through Ainahau and the acres and acres of gardens. So again, a little bit of a back paddle here, the backstory. When Princess Ka'iulani was born, to her father from Scotland originally, Archibald Scott Cleghorn, and her mother, Princess Likelike. At the time, Likelike was not yet princess. This is before when they got married in 1870. Then her brother becomes king in 1874, and now they are the royal family. So Likelike begins to compose many beautiful songs, this one in particular, but they had been living actually in Honolulu. You know that area where the Pacific Club is today?
Right. I was just there a couple of weeks ago.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You want to give us geographically the corner of what and what?
Oh, that would be Queen Emma
Yes.
and Vineyard?
Vineyard.
All right.
That's
Whew,
right.
the
So
test.
Vineyard and Queen Emma Street, that corner is where the Cleghorn home was. And when Likelike married Archibald Cleghorn in 1870, they were married already for 5 years by the time Princess Kaiulani is born, again when Kalakaua was already king. Just down the road from there, today where Ke'elikolani Middle School is located, and kind of better known still after all these many years as Central Middle School, Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani lived there. And it's really interesting to me that she becomes, is described as one of the godmothers of Princess Kaiulani. But what's interesting to me, now I bet you have godchildren.
Do I?
I know you're a goddaughter.
I do have one godchild.
Ah.
My niece.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good.
but I am a goddaughter.
It's interesting though to me, being designated as a godfather or just a godparent in general, is that from how I recalled it, is usually somebody from your parents' generation that, should something happen to the parents, that godparent would always be there to take care of the child. Well, Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani was much older. She was just about 50 years old at the time when Princess Kaiulani was born. So we're going to be doing some math here today. Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani, born in 1826. It's a long time before. And Kaiulani comes into our beautiful world with our beautiful princess in 1875. So she is the godmother and described as one of the godparents of Princess Kaiulani. So her father, Archie Cleghorn, had property in Waikiki at Auaukai at that time. I think it was just like a bungalow. What is a bungalow?
What is a bungalow? I feel very indoor-outdoor.
I'm thinking beach house.
Yeah, there you go.
About beach, indoor,
I'd love
outdoor.
to go to your bungalow when you get one later on.
Back at you.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So the bungalow was located there. And so as a christening gift for Princess Ruth's brand new baby goddaughter, she gives as a christening gift many, many more acres. I think the whole property was between 10 and 15 acres of land at Auaukai. Again, Princess Likelike renames that whole area Ainahau for the cool breezes or for the hau tree growth in that fantastic, dream-like tropical garden, tropical paradise, really. And so the family living downtown Honolulu eventually moved to Waikiki and make that their permanent home. But getting back to when you paint the picture of what did Ainahau look like, and you did it so well, you got a lot of the senses in there. You can hear the ocean and the coconut trees. You can smell the beautiful flowers. And so that's really where the song begins by Princess Likelike. And what's really interesting too is that the song is not really for a person, but it's definitely for a place, and it's for a home. So in Ainahau, the house itself is the star, is the center of attention completely.
Manu, a lot of other songs for homes are not quite that way.
No.
They're not composed in this way, and I was reflecting on this leading up to our talk story today, and thinking about how many of those mele are written by visitors to a home.
Right.
Like our favorite Helen Deshe Beamer and her mele for home after home and family after family and that whole kipa that happens. Right. But with Likelike here, writing for her own home.
Right.
The language changes.
And almost giving her home kind of human qualities. Yeah. She brings the home to life, and the home itself is interacting with fragrances, with sounds, and that sort of thing. So in the first verse of the song, we start right there with the sense of smell. So I'll give you a line or two, and you can just sort of paint the picture for that as well.
All right.
Nakawai lukini, vai anuhea o ka rose, e ho'ope nei I ka liko o nā pua. She didn't know I was going to do this.
No.
And this is kind of a quiz, but go ahead.
You just tossed that ball over.
So what's happening? What's happening so far?
Oh, there's just immediately fragrance.
Yeah.
strong, perfume, powerful, gentle, and it's just infused in the flowers.
You know, I had to actually look up the word lukini. So that's not a word we hear often. And in the dictionary, the Puke Vehe Vehe Olelo, it kind of defines lukini as Russian or Russia, but also as a general term for perfume. And then Vaianuhea also is a beautiful word. And I always thought it was two words, Vaianuhea, but apparently it's one, which also is this cool, sweet, soft, not overwhelming. But what she says in the thing, when she says eho, so it is this perfume, eho opene ikaliko o napua, that lends its fragrance to the flowers. So beautiful. She is in this very poetic way. It's like a bottle of perfume that is sprayed over the land and giving the fragrance to the flowers themselves. I love that. So I really love that. She goes on to talk about, the next two lines of the first verse, Nakamanu pikake manu hulu mele mele, nakahiko ia o ku'uhome, describing the adornments of her home there in Waikiki. But Manu Peacocks.
That peacock, I mean, the peacock and the Ka'iulani connection here. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So in Hawaiian language, it's called transliteration or ho'o Hawaii, to take peacock and pikake. So Manu Peacocks, the peacock birds. And the story goes actually is that Like had a few peacocks of her own. So Ka'iulani is still just a baby. And over time, those peacocks multiplied. And I think by the time Ka'iulani was a young girl, there probably were dozens, if not more, of those peacocks. I also want to point out that, you know, we think of the peacock bird with a real grand display of the feather, the tail feathers in a big crescent shape. Those are the male birds.
You know.
The male birds are supposed to be the more attractive birds.
They gotta work hard. Get some attention.
I guess so. But then you have that electric blue, the neck feathers of that. And then she says, Manu hulu mele mele. So we know now that, of course, Manu is bird and mele mele is
yellow.
One of your favorite colors for the ilima.
Of course. So
what's a yellow bird? Is it a canary? Probably not. And so I think I read somewhere that it refers to certain types of Chinese pheasants that were also there at the home. So here we have the beach bungalow. We all learned about bungalow just now. But and the peacocks and the fragrant flowers all over the place. But one of the best stories, and maybe you can tell it, how did the flower get the name of the bird?
Well, that's the fascinating thing, is what came first, chicken or the egg?
So the flower that we speak of, I always call it Indian jasmine, but I did a little reading. It's actually Arabian jasmine. So the white flower that we call peacock is Arabian jasmine, also Indian jasmine, also Chinese jasmine. But how do the birds and the flowers get together, literally?
I mean, I believe the story is surrounded with Ka'iulani.
Yeah.
And those peacocks finding
a little nest or
nests and homes underneath the peacock bush.
That's right. So the peacock plants, they're kind of a shrub with longer branches that kind of twist and twine. And you can just imagine. So by the time Ka'iulani was a teenager, it's said that she would feed them one by one. So have you ever had an encounter with a peacock before?
No, they scare me a little bit.
They scare me too. I mean, they're so beautiful. And again, it's the male birds that are the real good-looking ones.
Wow. Okay.
But the sound is like, rah, rah. So it goes to show you about the kind of the countenance of that young girl, very self-assured as a young child, growing up as a fairy princess, really in a fairyland, in this tropical paradise that was created by her father. So we look at that first verse, and we're going to continue on a little bit, but back to the fragrance of the flowers, of the perfume giving scent to the flower buds. Nakawailu kini Waianuhea o karose e ho'opene kaliko na pua. Nakamanu pikake manu hulu mele mele nakahiko iao kuho So there, Princess Likelike, she kind of inserts herself a little bit.
Ku'uhome.
Ku'uhome. So ku'u,
My.
mai. Not ko'u, not ka'u, which are also mai, but ku'uhome.
Dearly beloved mine. Yeah.
You say dearly beloved?
Yeah.
Dearly beloved.
Dearly beloved.
I have a feeling, because they eventually made Ainahau their home in Waikiki, their permanent home. It almost sounds like in this song that she was very happy to get away from Honolulu. But it's even kind of more fun to consider that Waikiki was considered their in the country. And in one of the translations of that, ku'uhome, ku'uhome ika iu iu, my faraway home, or my home in paradise. Or here, naka hikoia o ku'uhome, the adornments of my home. So the chorus is actually what's best known in this song. Nanivale ku'uhome o ʻāinahau ika iu. So just that line right there, Mary Kavena Puku'i says, ku'uhome ika iu, of very high regard. But the next line, ika holu nape akalau oka iu. What does that say to you?
That rustling of the coconut trees, that breeze in the fronds, it's a whole experience.
Yeah, so the coconut tree cannot holu nape all by itself. It needs help. And it gets help from the breeze. So and that sound of the coconut trees, but holu nape is really almost like a dancer.
Yeah.
That holu of the key color.
And again, that bringing life and character and personality to these
the actual
places,
what some would
things.
Consider inanimate objects.
Exactly, which we know are well and alive.
Very much so.
Yeah,
right.
but that new becomes an actor in the scene.
Ika ulu vehi vehi. Ika ulu vehi vehi ike ala o na pua. Let's just take ulu vehi vehi.
I love ulu vehi vehi.
Who doesn't love ulu vehi vehi? What does it say to you?
It takes me away.
Besides beautiful, it's just beyond beautiful.
Beyond.
Yeah. Ika ulu vehi vehi ike ala o na pua. So that's a pretty simple line. So in its just amazing, legendary beauty with the fragrance of the flowers. Ku'uhome, ku'uhome ika iu iu.
Again, the ku'uhome back in there.
Right. But in the next verse, the house really steps up and becomes the star of the song. So again, we have the holu nape akalau, so that is caused by makani. So in the second verse, na ka makani ahe ahe ipa mai makai. There's a little bit of a language, a really high level use of language there, but just in general, so makani, wind. So na ka makani ahe ahe ipa mai makai. So where is it blowing from?
Ocean side.
From the ocean. So again, it's hard to, now where are we in Waikiki? If you think of Waikiki today, we're basically where the Outrigger Hotel is. Across the street is the Princess Kaiulani Hotel. And just nearby is the Hyatt Regency Waikiki. So if you have to really be creative in your thought process to kind of erase all of that.
Repaint the landscape.
And you have this beach bungalow, and you have this a newer house, and the stables are built, and the peacock birds, and the jasmine, who Princess Kaiulani shares the bird's name with her favorite flower, pikake. But now we're talking about a breeze that comes from the ocean. So naka makani ahe ahe I pa mai makai. And so the next line for you to consider, I lave mai I ke ona ona lipoa.
I love that. The wind is bringing us the scent of the lipoa, that limu, with a very distinct fragrance. And I know my parents' generation and their parents' generation beyond that could tell right away what limu had come up to shore.
Right.
Just from one whiff off of the breeze.
And there's stories about kupuna going around the island. And depending where, in fact, one of them was Johnny Almeida, another well-known composer. And he, I think, would go with Kavena Puku'i and others just to holo around Oahu. And he couldn't see. He was completely makapo or blind by that later time in his life. And he could tell where he was based on what kind of limu was there. Do you have a favorite limu that you like to eat? Kohu.
It's got to be kohu.
Yeah. So, but limu lipoa is also associated with Waikiki. And when we look at all the evidence in the songs, like different translations and what have you, in fact, in Johnny Noble's collection here, the English translation of that line, "Ilave mai ikeonaona lipoa," it describes the lipoa seaweed not as seaweed that comes to shore, as in ka'uluwehi o ke kai.
Right.
He lipoa ipai keone. But more as this floating seaweed, and the flowers of the seaweed also tell you that the water, the environment was very healthy. So is it uluwehi for sure?
Right.
But do you think that's the same kind of environment that Waikiki is today?
Today, oh, far from.
Yeah, no, yeah, and there's well, of course, time happens, but more than time happened, the Alawai Canal happened.
Yeah, that happened.
You know, although there's a really beautiful song written for the Alawai Canal.
Really?
Alawai in Hawaiian basically means canal or water path. So anyway, Alawai Canal is there, and so all of the streams that came down from the Ko'olau Mountains, so all around our island, and you can see it in different place names, Waiahole. Why is it called Waiahole? Because the fresh water comes into the ocean water, and all of that, what we call waihapakai, like brackish water, it creates life. So the lipoa was very healthy, and the little floating flowers as described in the translation. But then, okay, so now we have the gentle breezes are blowing, carrying the fragrance of the lipoa seaweed a little bit further inland, because the composer seems to be writing from the standpoint of the bungalow. There's that word again. So, but the next line, and I know you're going to love this. I'm not sure if you know this part of the song. I'm going to give it to you right now.
Please.
E ho'oipo, ho'onipo me ke ala, ku'uhome.
Okay.
Go.
Love this.
Love.
Ku'uhome, then, in that context, is the piko.
Yeah.
Ku'uhome is the actor, the one that is making love
Yeah.
to the fragrance and the winds.
So the breeze brings the scent of the seaweed from the shore up inland just a little bit, maybe a few hundred yards to where the bungalow and the house and the stables and the gardens were located. But who is the ho'oipo and ho'onipo is a very intimate coming together, shall we say?
Yeah, that's
sort
a
of
lovely
like
way to put it.
rated G kind of audience here. So ho'oipo kind
It's a
of
family
it's
program.
intimate. They're intimate, but who is being intimate with the fragrance? The house itself.
I love that.
So, and then ku'uhome ka'iu. Let's take a listen to that verse. I think it just bears repeating.
It does.
So we have a breeze blowing and seaweed fragrance, and it's not sour. It's very sweet and makes you hungry for poke and other Hawaiian delicacies. Nakama kani ahe ahe, ipa mai makai, ilave mai ke ona lipoa. And here's the line. E ho'oipo, ho'onipo, me ke ala, ku'uhome, ku'uhome, ku'uhome ika iu. And so the last line of each verse and the chorus repeat. And sometimes people sing it that way, sometimes they don't. Another interesting thing, and because you're also a music person, I mean, you know music structure, you know choral music and himeni style music. When you have verses and a chorus, I'm not sure if this is not typical or what, but is a chorus usually the same melody as the verse, or is it often not?
I mean,
It could be either.
It could be either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of composers choose to not.
Yeah.
To allow the chorus to give you something different. And
Right.
to
It
break up
it breaks it up musically.
Exactly.
But in this case over here, so the first verse, Nakawai Lukini, about the perfume, and then the chorus, Nani Vale, same melody as the verse itself, and of course the second verse is the same as well. But all of that coming together in a real intimate way, but typically of other older Hawaiian songs, it is the chorus that most people know. It kind of became sort of a party song also.
I love a good party song.
Yeah, no, yeah. But, and why not? Because another thing about Princess Likelike, the composer, is she really was very, very well known as a hostess. And you read, I want to take a little bit of a turn here to your work with Hawaiian newspapers. and little announcements about things that are about to happen, like parties and what have you, or events that did happen. And oftentimes they would be about Likelike and what she was doing for whatever purpose.
I feel like talk of the town was around the Ali'i family.
I would say.
And what was going on and how everyone's health was.
Yeah.
And especially when there were events, everybody wanted to know what was going on.
Right.
And not everyone could show up.
And they would refer to events as entertainments.
Mm-hmm.
So an entertainment is like a noun all by itself. Last Saturday, a grand luau was held in Ainahau, and it was attended by all these famous people. One of them actually was Robert Louis Stevenson. And he's a well-known poet, and he's also from the same part of Scotland that Princess Kaiulani's father, Archibald, is from, Edinburgh, Scotland. So that's another song, another story for another time, but he is among the famous people and people from all over the world, royalty from Europe and other parts that would come to Honolulu, and Ainahau was really one of the centers of society. But getting back to the Nupepa, because I want to hear a little bit about the unusual or the unique presence of mele in the Hawaiian newspapers, and how do you, that must really set you off.
Right. I mean, I grew up with this, so it's not a shocker to me, but I have to remind myself that we don't open the newspaper today and expect to see songs printed on the pages, especially the front page.
Yeah.
And yet for 115 years of Hawaiian language newspapers, I dare you to find one newspaper title that didn't print a mele.
Yeah.
And often one every issue or more than one every issue. And that was something that was that worthy for the space.
Right.
And to be preserved in that fashion and form and spread throughout the community.
We kind of talked through the song already, but let's take a moment on Princess Kaiulani herself. So she grows up. Sadly, her mother passes away in 1887, 1888, right around there. Kaiulani, not long after, is sent off to school in England. But describe her character and her whole persona, Princess Kaiulani.
She seems to have been so regal, so also beautiful, warm, compassionate. She seemed like a really intelligent young girl and very excited about life and living.
Now you described all the beautiful, regal, womanly characteristics, but she was also quite the athlete. So one story goes that when she would go out to literally au kai, they refer to it in the English writings at that time, to go to the beach, you're going sea bathing. So she's sea bathing au kai at au kai. And she would go get in the water. She had a surfboard also, and she had her own canoe, but she would go and swim out all the way past the breakers. And her kahu, her own, the Hawaiian women who had personal kuleana
attendants,
attendants, right?
Correct.
Kaiulani, hoi mai oi, calling out to her. She's way out beyond the break. So she's not just this beautifully dressed
That's
woman.
how we do it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to be all the things.
Yeah, kind of a tomboy. And remember,
Yeah.
she loved horses, and she had her own. She requested, like every fairy princess requests, what would you like for your birthday?
Please, Santa, give me a pony.
A pony, and she had a white pony named Fairy. And one of her favorite pastimes, I thought it was diving, but it's driving. And driving is when you have multiple horses on the carriage, and she could work that carriage and those horses, and that was one of her favorite things to do. So
yeah, she was scared, yeah?
Yeah, no, but you'd see the beautiful pictures of her, you'd never guess.
Yeah.
But she was probably very precocious in a way too. Literally a princess being raised in a garden that would be likened to any storybook home of a princess, really anywhere. When you are involved in hula and you're looking at mele, as Mele Hoʻoheno, so in this podcast, we're going to take songs like Ainahau and kind of give you kind of paint a broader picture of them. But what kinds of things kind of tug at you when you're looking at mele to consider, say, to teach your haumana, or to do for a ho'ike or a competition or what have you?
Okay, I start with the words, with the language of it, and what speaks to me. Sometimes I'm looking for particular places. Sometimes I'm looking for epithets or phrases that just, like that makaniaheahe, like that wailukini. Perhaps you see something and you go down a rabbit hole and you get lost in what other mele have this kind of language that brings you in and that paints a picture that gives you a fuller story, where you can really immerse yourself in the then and the now.
Right. Here's another Hawaiian phrase, lua lapaki, rabbit hole. And because we're kind of nerdy when it comes to Hawaiian music and Hawaiian mele, but you can just get lost in the voluminous texts of mele for all kinds of different purposes. So that's a little bit of a snapshot of what to expect in Mele Hoʻoheno, songs for people, places, and pilina. And we look forward to sharing more stories. We could have people just email us in or text us or send a message what song you might want to hear about.
Good idea.
And with that, we say aloha to all of you. Mahalo anui for joining us. And this little snapshot, little glimpse of Ainahau. You may know things about the song or about the area that we don't know about, but there's so much out there to consider, to dig your own rabbit hole and look at the beautiful photographs and the images that were preserved of that time period. It's really unforgettable. We say poina ole in Hawaiian, unforgettable. No laila, ahui ho kako, mahalo nui ke kipa ana mai manei, ma Mele Hoʻoheno, ahui ho I ka wā pono. Aloha.
Aloha.